Okay, so we're live now. I think we can use the chat actually, so which is really good. So I want to make sure that I have the chat here so that I can get your question. So today we are going to have a conversation on understanding the web development ecosystem, and also at the end of the day we're going to have a sort of um, workshop, practical workshop half time. So my name is Peter Ayeni, and I see there are two people already on YouTube. You can say hello in the chat. Just say hello, everyone. Yeah, just to get the move started. Before we start, I just want to make sure that we have more people here. So, but then I'm gonna start definitely because this is going to be available for rewatch, but then being in the conversation directly, it's really good. So I'm live on Instagram now, so just for backup. So if you're watching me on Instagram, so I'm having a workshop on YouTube. So if you go to my Instagram profile, you could actually go see my YouTube channel there, and then you're able to join. So today the conversation is breaking to tech with Peter Ayeni. So why I started breaking to tech with Peter Ayeni is to be able to help as many people as possible to get started in tech. So either you have a computer science background, either you don't even have a computer science background at all. So it doesn't matter. So where you are right now in tech, or either you have a complete profession entirely and then you want to switch into tech. This conversation also is going to help you. So, and one thing I used to say to people, because a lot of people ask me this question, yeah, I want to start tech, I want to go into tech, whatever, like that, but I don't know where to start. Can you advise me on what to do? There are so many things. And the truth is that technology is really huge. So there are a lot of things. There is software engineering, web development. We have IT. We have cyber security. We have mobile app development. We have backends. We have networking. We have IT. We have so many things actually in tech. So technology is broad. So the problem is, where do I start from? What can I do first? So, and my own advice every single time I get this kind of question is this: learn web development first. So because web development is the most easiest uh, route to get into technology, because it's just accessible. Like, you don't need so many things to be able to get started in web development. So you need simple tools. Like, you need your web browser. That's all you need to get started in web development. And then you need to learn simple languages like HTML, CSS. You start building websites for people, and then that can actually give you some kind of easy access into tech, because you understand the ecosystem, you make friends, and then when you get into that ecosystem via web development, you can then start to explore other things. So, and that's my advice. So no matter what you want to do in technology, just know how to build websites. So if you learn how to build websites, and then your interest can go into different places in technology, which is really good. And web development is so easy to set up. You don't need so many resources. If you have a basic laptop, actually, and then you have a web browser, you just need like a notepad, then you start developing for the web. It's so easy to get started with web development. So yeah, so let's get started. I have a slide I'll be showing through this conversation. So if you're on YouTube, you can see this, but for people on Instagram, you can just hear me talk about them, and that's okay. So, but if you want to like join my YouTube channel, you could go to my YouTube. The link is on my profile, in the link in my bio. You see the YouTube there. So thank you for joining me this afternoon. So the idea is just to like help give people insight into the technology ecosystem and how you can actually get started with it. So my name is Peter Ayeni. Um, I help people to get started in tech. I've had about more than 10 years experience in technology, starting out as a self-taught, and also like actually also do a lot of things aside, well, web development, but in terms of like in the technology ecosystem. I've done hardwares, I've done electronics designs, I've done graphics design. So I've worked in printing space. So I did UI UX for some times. Also, I did animation. I did 3D Max, 3D with in the studio in Lagos for some time. And then before I said, okay, I want to focus on software engineering, which I love so much. Actually, software engineering have been what I actually wanted to do from the beginning, because every other thing I've done just led me to software engineering, which I love so much. So currently, I work with a startup in London called Alina. So we work in the mental health space. So it's actually amazing. Work with amazing teams there where we build a solution to solve some problem using neuroscience. Is imagine technology stuff, neuroscience, and it's really interesting. So what exactly is tech in the first place? So we talked about tech all of the time. This is buzzword. Like, what is tech? What does it mean? So I think the tech is actually short form for technology. So, but technology doesn't really mean computer. So I think technology means a lot of things, because before we have computers, we've been using technology in different spaces before. Like in farming, they apply technology to make farms better. So they apply technology to different things. So to make our life better, even before we started having computers and stuff like that. So even as simple as email, posting, sending letters, telegram, and stuff like that, we have seen technology in those spaces also over the years. So I have a Wikipedia definition that I actually like to use to define technology. So technology is the sum of techniques, skills, methods, and processes used in the production of goods or services, or in the accomplishment of objectives such as scientific investigation. So technology can be the knowledge of techniques, processes, and the like. So technology actually is not just like it's about skills. It's about process that we put in place to make things better. So like for instance, like before, how do you send message from one town to the next? So maybe before people use is it Crow or something to do it, and then people use Pigeon, and then people start divided with to be using Telegram, and then we have Twitter, we have email and stuff like that. So technology have been around us all the time. So anytime people find a new way of doing things, of improving our ways of life, so that's technology. So it's just that today computer make technology as easily accessible to everyone. So that's why you can see that a lot of people can innovate quickly with computer. We can create new things. It's open a new windows of how we relate with technology. That's why we have tech, high tech company, high tech this thing. So now technology is synonymous to computers. So, but technology can be applied in anything. So, but in this context, we are going to be talking more about information technology because it deals more with computers. So, information technology is in where we process information. So, and that's why you see that people say that we are now in information age, right? So, the concept is that we are using information technology to revolutionize the way we communicate, the way we relate, the way we access information. Look at Google, like people from all over the world right now, like you want to get something to know, you want to know what is going on and stuff like that. And at the tip of your fingertips on your phone, you could have access to like zillions of information from all over the world, and you can easily transfer expertise. Like I'm here right now, maybe 1,000 miles for some other people, and then you can communicate with me. I can share knowledge with everyone, and that is what information help us to achieve. So information technology is like we get data, we can process it, and then we can share it to people in a way that it's easy and it's smooth to do. Yeah. So in this context of conversation, we are actually talking about information technology. So, and in this area of information technology, we are focusing on web development, websites, and that is what we web applications. This is what we relate with on every day. When you go on Twitter, on Facebook, on Google, so all these are websites that have been serving us for years now, that have changed the way we work, that have changed the way we do things. So aside from that, even in the information technology space, there are still a lot of things, not just web development. We have AI called artificial intelligence now. So majorly, which is just machine learning. So and then we have design, we have data, which is like data management, data warehouse. In different ways, data is being managed. So we also have cloud computing. So which is a buzz that we have around now. So cloud is just like having computers. You have access to computers in some places, and you don't need to like manage those computers. But those computers can do a lot of work for you, and then you just pay the company that provides the service for you on your behalf. So, and that is cloud technology. So you just have a computer somewhere that you pay for. It does all of the processing, all of the work for you, all of the workload, but you don't need to maintain any hardware, any softwares, but the uh, the cloud computing company do it for you. Like AWS, for instance, the cloud computing company. So another aspect is we have IoT, which is Internet of Things. Internet of Things are like things like we have in our life and in our houses. Like for instance, some people have in their houses, you can clap your hands and then the light will be on and then they can be off. So we have all this kind of technology like that we have access to. So then we have products, technology based products. Then we have marketing. Marketing have been changed so much now with the advent of social media. So today we have like social media marketers, we have Google marketers and stuff like that, because we can reach millions of people from anywhere in the world using these platforms. So marketers need to learn these new platforms to be able to reach out to people. So but in this conversation we are focusing on web application development, websites and whatnot. So from technology to information technology to focusing on web. So in web itself, web is actually like a big space also, but then most of the time I like just like separate web development into like two phases. Like we have, if you don't understand some of these things, don't worry. It could feel like maybe I'm saying some jargons and stuff like that, but then as you grow in this space, all of these things will come back and then you can understand them better. So, but if you have any words that I mentioned that you don't understand, just Google them and then you get explanation about it. So, and that's how you learn more vocabularies in this space. So, it's good. So, in the web development space, actually, it can be categorized into two different phases. So, we have this web design. So, web design is the process in which you design how the website is look like, how it feels, the interface, what people can actually interact with. So that's the web. And then we have the backend aspect of it also. The backend aspect of it is where you process the user data that the website actually take. For instance, if you go to facebook.com, you need to log in with your, maybe for the first time you register, you give in your email, your password, your phone numbers and all of this, your name and stuff like that. So the web design aspect of it is the user that like actually design those forms that you can see on facebook.com. And then when all of those data you put in and you click on submit, that is the place the work of the backend engineer started from. So they write codes and instructions that say that, okay, computers take all of this form that this person have submitted and then they process it. They save your password securely. They save your data in the backend on the database, so that next time when you go to Facebook and you put in your email and password, it logs you in because your registration have been taken and been secured in the database. And then the next time you come, you can get every information tailored to you. You can add friends, unlike friends, and all of those data interactions are being stored in database. So those who store those information, how you log in, how you store your data in database, are called backend engineers or backend developers. So, and then those who do the designs of the website itself, of Facebook, how it looks, the color, the logo, the brands, the interactions, the animations, are called web designers or front end engineers. So most of the time you'll be hearing buzzwords like front end engineers and then back end engineers. That's how all of those things work. So front end, how it looks, how it's pretty, and how the buttons, designs, and stuff like that. And then the back end engineers deal with the data security, database, and all sort of that data processing and all those things you process on the back end. So other things you have, even websites, web application today take advantage of data and then machine learnings also. So these are different aspects that you can grow. As you get started, then you can grow into these different aspects. But my advice is always that as an absolute beginners, because there is this a lot of information that is going to be coming at you. So many things coming at you: AI, machine learning, Web3, like Solidity, learn Python, learn Java, like so many languages. And then if you're not careful, you'll be like learning I was there like that also. I was in this rabbit hole of learning every programming language, learning everything. So I learned Python. I think when I get started, then I started with C Sharp, Visual Basic when I get started, and then it was like, okay, Visual Basic is good, but then Ruby is coming on and it's revolutionizing the way we build the web. I'm like, okay, maybe Ruby is gonna make sense. And I started learning Ruby, and then some few years into that, you have not even mastered Ruby and Ruby on Rails. You start looking at, okay, there's another thing coming on board, which is Python and Django. I'm like, oh, Python and Django is really cool. As a beginner, because you don't really understand this thing, and then you start like jumping from one tutorials to another, from one this thing to another. Like, okay, now it's machine learning, now it's data science, now it's this. So, and then it now becomes more difficult to be grounded in anything, because you're just like all over the place, and it's difficult for you to like learn one thing. But then if you like just patient, learn the basics, how the web works, learn HTML, learn CSS, learn JavaScript, build a simple website, host it on the web server, and see how that process works. If you nail those things, then you can then be adding other stuff to it. So those are like icing, like AI, data analysis, all those things are like icing on the cake. You understand? And then you can then do other stuff you want to do. So then we have marketing, we have IT, and we have cloud stuff and everything. And this is a bit where I love to say all the time: is it meant for me or just for extra talented people? So is software engineering for me? Is coding for me? Is even IT or anything in tech, graphics design, user experience, all of these things, AI, is it for me? Can I do it? And the thing is that a lot of people be like, yeah, this thing is just so hard, it's just so difficult and everything. And I will not say that it's not difficult. Definitely it is. Like, if you have not ride the bicycle before in your life and you want to try it for the first time, it's definitely going to be difficult. It's going to pull you down, like, because you've not. So just like every other thing, if you are going to learn a new language, I remember some years back I was trying to learn German. It was everything. It was like I was 4 years old again. Everything doesn't make sense to me. So, and that is exactly the way technology and programming is. So the fact that you started and everything threw you up doesn't mean that you can't do it. It just means that this is a new information. Our brain works differently. You understand? Our brain is very comfortable with what you know how to do, and you'll be fine. Like, maybe, for instance, in your math class, you like indices a lot, and you've nailed indices, and you were like, my God, this is good. And then the next week, your teacher came with, okay, it's time for calculus. I'm like, what? So our brain, when you give our brain new information, it throws us off the guard. We feel bad. We feel like, no, I can't do it. And then we lose our interest. So what we want you to have is a growth mindset. Understand that there is no one that was born superstar or genius programmer. No, everyone learned these skills. So, and if anyone can learn it, you also can. So you just need to be patient with yourself. You understand? Start from the fundamentals, as I'm going to be showing you today. If you look at my YouTube channel, I specifically designed it to help people that don't have any experience at all, or you have some experience but you have been having cold feet about coding, web development, and any kind of technology whatsoever. So this is to like help you to be able to like, it's normal. All of this feeling is normal feeling that everybody has, but the better, the more you sit down to it. If and don't put so much pressure on yourself. If you try it for a week and you feel down, just leave it, go back to it again. You understand? And that's the way you're going to learn. And it happens to me all the time. I still learn new things all the time. I don't have the knowledge for everything in tech. I don't know every programming language on the face of the earth, or you understand. So I just need the beats that help me get things done, and then I improve day by day and get better. You understand? And I've been doing this for 10 years. So, and even if you speak with other software engineers also, they will tell you the same thing. You understand? Like, they also are learning on the job. They're learning from other people. And then as you are learning, also you teach what you know, and then you learn from others what they know. And that is how the technology ecosystem works. So we all like building on top of each other. So which makes a lot of sense. So I really like this movie called is it Ratatouille or something? So, but it's about this rat that wanted to become a chef. So it's a very interesting movie, and it motivates me a lot to be able to like, anytime I like feel down, I need to learn new thing, or I feel like I can do something. I like to like see that movie, and it just encourages like anyone can learn anything. If you just put enough time and practice to it, you'll be better at anything. So this rat just believed that he can cook. You understand? And then there is this chef, is an amazing chef, and this chef believed that if anyone uh can put a lot of work into it, they can actually learn to cook. And then he wrote this amazing book on cooking, so that anybody can learn how to cook. And there's this critic that believed that cooking as a chef, becoming a chef, is actually like reserved for this expert elitist class of people. Like, not anyone can do it. And then the rat actually proved him wrong, because the rat was able to like learn and then read those books and then become a good chef, and then was able to help other people to become a good chef. And that's the thing. So I also believe that anyone can code, anyone can learn how to do these things. You just need to like put enough time, practice, patience with yourself, and dedication, and then you can do it. So yeah, I would want to like, I think those are the aspects I would want to share. Sometimes I like to talk about my own journey into tech, and I get started and things like that. I think I have all those in my on my Medium, and I've talked about this before in my previous webinars. So I'm not going to like bog or so much about that. So I think after this, if there's any questions, you can put in the comments, and then we can talk about that. But if there's no any question, now we're going to go into the practical session. So if you're on Instagram, I would just advise you go to my YouTube channel. You see it on my profile. So I'm going to have a practical session now on uh, how to set up your computer for coding. So, and then we're going to install some things. I'm going to share some resources. I don't know how to do that right now while I'm on Instagram live, but I'm on YouTube live. I can share my desktop there. Maybe I could figure out in the future how to share my desktop on Instagram live. I don't know that yet, but I want to like focus more on my YouTube. I'm just doing this so that I know I have a lot of followers on Instagram that will actually like to know that this is going on. So I will go off Instagram live now, and that if you can join us on YouTube, that would be amazing. And then I'm going to be sharing every resources that you need to set up your computer today and to start coding for web. And then we are going to do a whole workshop on HTML from beginning to the end. and that's gonna help. So if you have any question, put in the comments here. I'm going to try my best to answer it. And then if you're on YouTube, you can use the chat and then send me any messages I'm going to after. So thank you very much for those that connect with me on Instagram Live. I'll see you back in a bit. Thanks. Bye. Okay, so let's get cracking. For those who are with me on YouTube, so I just get off Instagram so that we can focus on this. Yeah. Okay, so before we get started, I want to just like share. I'm using Mac actually, but most of the tools I'm going to be sharing with you also work with Windows. So it's the same thing. They work with Windows. They work with Mac. So the same way. So you wouldn't have any problem at all. So if you are watching me right now, I know you are watching me from one browser or the other. But for web development, actually, I will advise that you use Chrome. Chrome. So that is the browser I will advise you to use. So that is Google Chrome. Google Chrome. So if you don't have Google Chrome, download Google Chrome for every platform, either Windows, you're using Mac OS. So it's just going to tell you. So it knows when you launch, it will just tell you, because I'm on Mac OS, so it's telling me to download for Mac. If you are on Windows, then you can up this on Windows. And also, if you don't like Mac OS, you can still use Mozilla. Mozilla too is amazing for web development, but for most of the time I do use Mozilla also, especially for their grid and stuff, which is good. But then I would just advise you use Chrome. But if you don't like Chrome, use Mozilla. That is a good option, so that we don't just like put one options on everyone. So okay, so if you have your web browser, that's the best place to start. Another thing you want to have is what we call IDE. So IDE simply means integrated development environment. So if you say IDE mini, for instance, you see. So IDE means integrated development environment. So if you're writing your code, you need an environment to write your code, and you want an environment that can actually help you to be productive, So like if you are a writer, you need Microsoft Word or all this kind of writing platform. If you're an artist, you need CorelDRAW, you need Photoshop, you need Illustrator. So if you're a programmer, you need an environment to help you to write codes, right? So I'm going to show us 3 environments that I like, and then I'm going to recommend one for you. So for option's sake, actually. So the first one I will show you is what we call Bracket. So Bracket IO. So Bracket IDE. So Bracket is actually created by Adobe. Guys, Adobe, and is amazing. Why I like Bracket is that you have this live it does live preview built in, which is good. So especially for beginners, when you're doing your HTML, and then you can quickly see what you are building in your browser directly. So that is what make Brackets really cool, and is free, so you can download Bracket here. So the second I'm going to introduce to you is called Atom. So this is Atom. Yep, this is Atom. Atom is amazing. Atom is actually developed by GitHub. So if you don't know what GitHub is a code repository management company. So now bought by Microsoft, actually. So they create this amazing IDE. So it's good for web development, CSS, JavaScript, and a lot of stuff. It's really, really good. So you can pick either these or brackets, any one of them, or you can just have all of them on your computers and then try all of them out and choose the one that you feel is the best for you. But my favorite one that I use and I will be using for our workshop today is called VS Code. So this is VS Code. So VS Code is like the minimized version of Microsoft Visual Studio Code, and it's actually amazing. It's really, really amazing. So you want to just come here, download it. So it's available for Windows, for Linux, for Mac OS. So that's what I'm saying, that all of these environments, all of these IDEs are available for all of your platforms. So it doesn't matter what platforms you're using, they are available there. So you can use it. So yeah, actually, quick tips. It's really cool. So bracket is amazing. Like it has, I don't have it installed now. I could have show you, but it has live. You can see live preview, immediate live preview inside. So as we are coding, maybe I can even download it and see. I will download it as we talk, and I will show you. I will share it and so people can see. So inline editors, live preview, processor support. So it's really, really cool. So maybe it's something I can be using to create my tutorials once in a while. But VS Code also has live preview extension, so that you can add. But for brackets, it's built in, so you don't need an extension for bracket live preview. So okay, so let's bracket install. So just do download. So I will advise you use Visual Studio Code, but then you can download the 3 of them. There is no offense to doing that, and then you can choose any one of them that you love to go with. So which is really cool. So before we go ahead, do you have any questions? Is there any questions you can put in the chat before I move forward, so that we can continue? I'll just wait for 1 minute if there is any questions you'd like us to talk about. So we have 11 people viewing currently, which is amazing. So what I would say is that please like and share this with family and friends. So you can see that I try as much as possible to make this very, very beginner friendly. So if you have people that you want them to like learn how to code, or your teenagers and things like that you want them to learn to code, this is really, really good. So just try and share this video with them. So, and also if you like and share as we are streaming right now, you can get more people on the stream. And please also kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel, and so that we can reach more people actually, and I'm really grateful for that if you can do that. So, and also if you have like group, church group, mosque group, or youth group, university course mates that you know that you want to learn web development. So I'm currently doing a series, which this streaming is also part of it. You see it on my YouTube channel, so they can start from absolute beginner. So we've treated a lot of HTML stuff. So today what we are doing is actually go through all of these things that we have done in that video. I will condense it into like 20-minute workshop that we are going to be having right after this. Okay, so this is bracket install, and if I click on this, you can see this is the live preview. So I will say okay. So, and you can see that how sweet is that. So this is our live preview, very, very fast, very, very quick in the with bracket. So, and then you can close it here. So yeah, that's good. I don't know if we should use brackets. I'm not sure. So let's use Visual Studio Code, so that it's fine. Visual Studio Code also have live preview. I will show you that. Okay, so if you have your Visual Studio Code download, is very good, it's robust, it has so many extensions. So I already have Visual Studio Code download, so I'm just going to open Visual Studio Code so that we can get started. All right. Okay. So okay, so let's get started now. Okay, so everyone said VS Code is good, so let's use VS Code. Definitely VS Code. All right, that's fine. So I'm going to do some things, terminal stuff. Don't worry so much about this actually. So everything I do on the terminal, you can do by hands using your desktop. You know, I just want to like go to my desktop. So you can create a folder in your desktop. It doesn't matter. So I'll just say make a directory. HTML workshop. So work and the shop. Okay. So and so I'm going to do that. I'll go into that HTML workshop. So what I did is just like create a folder and then go inside that folder. So it's space. You can just do it on your desktop. Right click and create a folder and do all that. So it's don't be. That's not really the ball of contention here. Even though I have some command line stuff that I've said. So if you are creating stuff in command line, you want to create a folder, just use like make dir is like create this folder and then it's going to create it for you. And then if you want to go into that folder, just like cd change directory into desktop and then change directory into the HTML folder I've created. So, and I'm going to open this in Visual Studio Code. So I said we're going to be using Visual Studio Code, and a lot of people actually agree with me. I think Visual Studio Code is amazing. So when you open your Visual Studio Code for the first time, you're going to get all of these things. Getting started with Visual Studio Code, fundamentals of Visual Studio Code, boost your productivity. Just go check out all of these things. It's really amazing. And in Visual Studio Code, you could actually open your Visual Studio Code and just create file, new window, and stuff like that. You can open the folder already. Like if you create a folder on your desktop, you can click on open folder. You understand? And then go to your desktop and like we have this. Maybe we have this web, but this is the one we created. HTML workshop. You can actually like open it, but it's already open. So we have it here. And other things you need to know about Visual Studio Code is that it's like if you have your file, edit, section, view, go, you can run stuff. So Visual Studio Code can actually run a lot of things. So not just for HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. You can do Python, you can do C#, you can do C, C++, you can do Java in Visual Studio Code, and it's really, really amazing. So I could just zoom in a little bit so that you can see me a little bit clearly. I think this is good. So another thing you need to know is we have this search here. So we have source control if you are using GitHub, and then we have run and debug stuff. Don't worry yourself about all of these things, but what you should worry about is this extension stuff. So these are the extensions that help you like supercharge your VS Code. And so for today, actually, if you are installing VS Code today, everything you need for web development is already inbuilt for you. So because what we are doing is just web development. But another thing I love to use is this HTML preview. So this extension called HTML preview, you could just like come to extension tab. So if you come to the extension tab here and just type HTML preview, so you see this HTML preview. So what it allows you to do is like preview your HTML while you are coding in your browser side by side. And that is really cool. But then Visual Studio Code itself actually has live preview. So you'll see how we do that when we move forward. So that is the only extension I would advise you to install. But you can still explore here and check for different extensions and install them anyway if you want. So, but that's HTML preview is what I would advise you to install. So now to get started, if you're creating your HTML page for the first time in every web development, the first page you want to create is the index.html. So do anyone have not understanding why is our first page have to be index.html? So if you have that answer, you can actually put it in the comments. So the concept is that, you know, every website, every house has to have a front door. They have a place where the entry point to that website, the place that the users, like every company have a reception. So there is a reason there is a reception. It's just for organization purpose, so that when something is coming in into the company, there is a central point, there's a focus point that people can go to. I'm like, okay, I'm going to company B. Who do I need to talk to? So they go to the reception, and then reception can channel them to where they want to go. And that's exactly what index.html is doing. It's like the gateway. It's the first thing. It's the landing page. When you go to google.com, the first page you are saved is the index page. So that is the index.html page. So, and after index page, you can create as many pages as you want. You can create another page, let's call it contact.html. You can create about.html. So .html is an extension that shows that this page is an HTML page. And HTML, I've already defined this before in our previous video. It means hypertext markup language. So if you have not seen any of those videos before, you could just go ahead and see them, and they're going to like help you to get idea of all of these things we're talking about quickly. So, but for today, we just need index.html. So I'm just showing that you can create multiple pages, and then we can have them there. But the first page that your web browser is going to serve, anytime someone go to your website directly from your domain, is your index page, which is your front page. Good. So I want us to now move a little bit faster so that we can. So the idea of today is to create, take us through the complete HTML series. Like, how do we start coding? We have set up our IDE, VS Code, and then we're planning to build our first website. So what do we need to do? So the first thing we need to do after creating our index page is to be able to define what kind of template is this. And this is the advantage that IDE has, this VS Code or any other integrated development environment. They save you time. They give you productivity. You understand? You can see what happened right now when I did exclamation, this exclamation mark. You can see this stuff that come up immediately. So these are the things that you need on every HTML page. So I can't be typing all of these things by myself by hand. So the IDE help you, give you auto completion, give you suggestions, help you auto complete your typing so that you can type less, because we are human beings. We make errors all the time. I make errors all the time. I can't even spell to save my life. Like when you spell, you make mistakes and stuff like that. So this IDE, like your Microsoft Word, help you highlight your errors, tell you that, okay, if there is something you use all the time, it just like make it into something that you can snippet that you can actually use quickly. And that is what this is going to do for us. So if we do exclamation mark, you get these options, and if I click enter, you can see this now. Immediately we have our page populated with our standard HTML tag, the HTML head, and then the body. So I'll just quickly explain some of these things to you. So when you are creating any HTML page, there are things you want to have every time. Our language is English. The doc type is set for us, and we have the head, and then we have our title. So what is our title? We can name it whatever we want. HTML workshop, and that's it. And then we have our body. Like I said, everything in the body are actually things that is going to be displayed on our web page. So let's say, for instance, now if I do right click here and I said open with live server, you can see. So Visual Studio Code also have built-in live server. If I just right click, open with live server, you can see this is going to open up in the web server automatically. You can see there is nothing that is happening right now. That is why this is blank, right? So, but you can see the title we put, HTML workshop. That is your title. You can see index.html is 7, but there is nothing here right now because the body is blank. And then you can see here HTML workshop. So let's update that now, and you can see that is where that data is coming from. So let me change this to HTML5 workshop, and then let's say open with live server again. So you can see again HTML5 workshop. You can see this one also, because I have it open before. You can see HTML5 workshop, and it's there already. Isn't that cool? So we could close some of this and all of this, and then we can start with HTML5. So now HTML, I've said before, HTML is the way we describe things, information to our websites. So how the information should be structured is the work of HTML. And then we have presentation, CSS, how we want those information to look, the formatting, the shapes, the size, the color. That is what CSS, cascading style sheet, does. And then came JavaScript. It gives us interaction, animations, and how we interact with the page. And that is what JavaScript does. So that is why we have all of them work together: HTML, CSS, JavaScript. But then HTML is where we start from, and that's what we are going to do right now. So today we're just going to go through different HTML elements that we have, and then we're going to see how we can actually use them to format a simple website. So using as many HTML elements that we can use, and this will give you some kind of an head start. So let's say we have an so one thing you want to understand, that every HTML element are in small case. You need to understand that very well. So every HTML element are in small case. So we could say welcome to my workshop, right? So now in this place, now in the body, we currently have this h1 tag. So the h1 tag has an opening tag. So this is an h1 element. This is the opening element, h1, and then this is the closing element, h1. So anything between it is the information we want that h1 to apply to. So h1 is called header tag, and we have h1 to h6. So h1 is the biggest one, and where h6 is the smallest one. So just depend on how you want to format your website. So if you open this now, you can see we have this h1 tag, welcome to my workshop. How cool is that? So, and then let's look at the variation H6 now. Happy to see you here. So if we open this up now, okay, sorry. If we open this up, so you can see this is the smallest tag and this is the biggest tag. So when I said that you should use Google Chrome, so what Google Chrome is that it gives us access to what we call developer console. So, and this is something that you're going to be using a lot as you grow in your tech and web development profession. So if you right click on your web browser and you click on inspect, the developer console comes out. You can see, and then you can see everything we have on our body. You can see the welcome, and we can see the H6. So, and you can see all of the default CSS that have been applied to them right now. So H1 also have its default CSS, but then we can overwrite all of this and make our own CSS, change their colors, make them look whichever way we want them to be. So that is why I said you should have used Google Chrome, even though actually Mozilla Firefox also have its own developer console, so which is good, but it's just preferences. Like a lot of engineers use Google Chrome, but then Mozilla Firefox also is amazing. All right, so that is just like to show you this. And then if you go to any website whatsoever, if I go to google.com, because it's a very simple website, and then I click on this and inspect, you can see everything here. If I click on this inspect, this icon, and I click on this, you can see this is an image. You can see the image class, you can see the CSS and everything that they use about it. So you can practically see more of the code, the CSS code that created all of this page. So, and it's another way for you to learn how things are being built and what properties are used, or HTML elements that are used to do all of these things. You can see this, you can see all of this. So you can see this, and you can see how all of them are being styled. You can see the flex elements and things that are being used. So yeah, that's a good tip to have as a web developer, and you're going to be using it a lot in your own code also. Yeah, that's good. So now let's talk about some of other things. So in some points, commenting your code is very, very important. So at some point when you're coding, you want to leave some kind of comments in your code for people that are actually going to be reading it. So if you want to add comments in HTML, this is just how you do it. You have this open stuff and then close it down, and then you have anything. So this is my header, for instance. So, and that will serve as a comment in your code. And then, so other things you want to use. So for instance, let's say this, we don't want to use this now. I just want to like comment it out. So I could just do that like I did. Exclamation like that, and then I can pick these things and then pull them inside. So if I save this right now and I open live server, you can see it's not showing anymore. You can't see the comments on your page because it's just for the people reading your code, not for the browser. The browser is going to ignore everything that you commented out, and that's how it works. So that's it. So right now we have this commented out. So we have our H1. So, but then we, let's say we have a P tag. So at some point you want to have paragraphs with information on your website. So P tag help us to define paragraphs. And then I'm going to go to open live server, and then you can see that we have this paragraph immediately showing up on our page. And that's how you define paragraphs. So another interesting thing you want to use quite often is images. So, and to show images is quite simple. So we have the image tag that we use, and then the image tag just need to take two attributes. So attributes is like, h1 right now doesn't have any attributes. So anything you put in between the tag is what we call the attribute. Any additional information that is put there. So, and one thing you notice about image tag is that image tag is self-closing. You don't have image and then you have something like this. So you don't have it like that. So image is self-closing. Self-closing means that you can just like do it like this, or some people just like leave it the way it is and it's fine. So your image you want to have source. What is the source of your image? And then you want to have alt. So alt means that what describe this image for accessibility purpose. So let's just get an image quickly. So if I render this for instance and opens live server here, so you can see that we cannot see anything now because we don't even have any image right now. So let's go look for an image of a. So I'll share a website for you for good images. You can use Undraw, or for images I use Unsplash. Unsplash is really good. Is all the images on Unsplash are amazing. So I want to get this adorable cat image. So I'm just going to copy the image address and then go to my code. And I'm going to put this here, and then I'm going to okay, why is this not breaking? That's strange. Okay, so let's see. So if we go here, yep, you can see now we have our image loading. So let's say for reason we have this image wrong. So you can see the image is no longer loading, but then we need to have this alt here. So I will have this alt to mean cute cat. So if I put a wrong image here, and if the image is broken, you can see we have our cute cat here. So we know that, yeah, something. So this is not for only when the image is broken. For people that are actually checking your website with reading device, they can get the image and then their reader, screen reader, is going to tell them, okay, this image is an image of a cute cat. So which is a good thing to have in your code for accessibility sake. So for this, I'm just going to put back the image of the cat, and then we have our image of cat. So now one thing you want to notice is that right now our code is now becoming very messy. So maybe we want to have like, we have this welcome to my website with the workshop. So and then we want to have this as an header to our website. So we have something like a slogan here. So this is actually like a slogan. So we have this and we have this. So these are basically like a quick header that we want to show, but we want to group them together because we are going to have other things. So there are very nice HTML tags that you can use to put things together in the way they should be like. So we have this body. Okay, how did this is wrong? This should be body. I think it was when I was adding that this happened. But one thing about HTML is very, very forgiving. So when you make some error, your page still render, which is strange. So it's going to make sure that your page still render. But there's something I'm looking at. Does this has width? It does has width. So I just want to do something that make our image look a little bit simple. So like maybe 500 pixel width. It does have width, so this is good. So I just want us to have something that is very simple and so that we can have a big image on the screen. So what we want to do right now is this header and this image here, we want to wrap them together, into an header tag. So, and we have that tag really is that HTML give us already. So this is an header. So one thing again we could do is, we have, after the header, we want to have some like article or something like a blog or like a main content, right? Main content area. So we can say, okay, we have this main content, and in this main content we want to have like an article, and that's really good. So that just shows some maybe blogs, article and stuff like that. And in the blog article we want to have like an H2, latest company news, and then also we want to have another image for the company news. Okay, I will just do that. So we have image, we have, let's do this. Okay, we have this. So we have alt news about cat, and then here we have the news itself, which is going to be a paragraph tag, and then we can put all of our lorem ipsum stuff here. So I see the reason why, because okay, I'm going to zoom this off. Okay, so we can have more P paragraph, another lorem ipsum. Okay, good. So I want to make sure that all these are visible, well visible. Okay, so what you can see now, you now have this header. So if we preview this page quickly, open now, you can see that we have this our header, then we have the latest company news. So we have news about cats, but we don't have an image for it yet. So let's get an image that gives us a news about cat. So let's get a dramatic cat. Cat. Yes, this looks like something in the news. So copy image address, and then we can take this and then just put it here. And then let's set the width to maybe something like 90 so that it's not too big. Okay, 100 is good. So that it's not too big. So let's open this up. And then we can see we have our news, and we have this, and then we have this information. And what we could do right now, so we don't have to have this extra thing here. So we can just have another P tag or H6 tag that said read more. So, but then this read more needs to be a link, right? So how do you link in HTML? We could actually wrap this read more in an anchor link very easily, and then we give it what we call href, And since we don't know where we are linking to right now, we could just put it a dead link. So when you put a dead link, it means pound, so that means that you can click on it but it's not going anywhere. But when you have a link, you can actually link it to it. Or if you have, like, let's say we have news.html, so you could just link these to news.html, so which is a good thing to do. And then we could just go to news and just create another HTML page. We call it news, and then we can have an h1 tag here and call this news. How cool is that? Now we've created 2 pages and we've linked them. So we can open this in our live server right now. You can see that. So we have our latest company news, we have this head tag image, and you can click on our read more, you go to the news page. How cool is that? So this is taking a little bit longer than I will want it to be, but then I've successfully been able to, like, let's do our HTML preview. So we have this HTML preview stuff here. Instead of me actually going to the browser directly, I can just click on this place and then you can see this here. How cool is that? So I'll just do a quick wrap up at this point to just go over what we have been able to do. So my vision for today is to be able to, like, take you from, I don't even know anything about HTML or the web and how it works, to, like, help you to be able to understand, like, and how the tools, the setup, and everything you can use to start coding a website today. And then we have done exactly that. So there is still a lot of HTML tags. I've talked about them in some of my videos up until this moment. So you could just go back and I will share the playlist. Go back to the playlist and go and watch all of those videos so that you can be able to get understanding of how all of these HTML tags and everything and how they work together. You understand? And this is just it. Everything you're going to be building is going to be built on top of this. So, like, if we want to have another article here, we could just copy this and then replace it and save. And then we have 2 news articles. Okay, another one, another news. So you could just change the tag here. So say another company news, and that's the style. And then what you're going to be doing more and more is actually reusing the code, reusing the tags and everything. So it's really amazing without spending so much, without exerting yourself or any kind of, or like call it expensive setup. You go from just a blank page to creating 2 HTML pages. And after today, we are going to be talking about styling your HTML page, and then we're going to go into JavaScript and a lot of other things. So I hope this conversation actually help you to be able to, like, get your feet wet a little bit on how web and web development ecosystem work. So if you miss any of this video, you can just, it will be available immediately after this session ends, and then you can rewatch it again. If you have any questions, just leave it in the comment section, and then definitely I will go back to, like, answer all of those questions. And from next week, I will start making videos on CSS using Free Code Camp. So Free Code Camp is an amazing platform. If you don't know about it, I can show you quickly. So let's close on this. Let's close these, and I'll go here and show you freecodecamp.org. So I love freecodecamp.org. Is free for everyone. It's for free. You can build projects, you can get certifications, and they, if you see on Free Code Camp website, the first thing they put at the first is responsive web design. There's a reason why they do that, I think. So, and that is one of the things I said, because web design is very easy to get started with when you are getting into web development or in technology. You can see there are other topics here: JavaScript algorithm, front-end development, that visualization, data backends, quality assurance, scientific computing with Python, data analysis with Python, information security, machine learning, and then responsive web design. I think this is like the latest version again that they are building. But the concept is this: web design is really amazing, and it help you to be able to like get yourself easy pathway into technology. And when you master this, you can even go into any one of these places. Even when you finish this course, you can jump anywhere you want, because this help you to like get the understanding how the ecosystem works and everything works in it, and it will go a long way to like help you. So if you do this, go to my YouTube channel. You see uh, the courses I've been doing, and I'm going to show you quickly. We actually put this in the chat, so you can join. So if I go to my YouTube channel very quick, so you see, yeah, if you check my playlist, so you're going to see learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript in 2022. So this is amazing. So I break down HTML from beginning to the end. So using free code camp actually with explanations and solving some of the problems and giving detailed explanation of some of those things. So, and from next week I'm going to get started from CSS. So how do we start adding styling and stuff. So, and then after that I'm going to do another workshop styling HTML and CSS. And then after that we do JavaScript, and then I will do a workshop on JavaScript, and now you can put everything together. So with what we did today, I think you could be able to like install VS Code and be able to get started creating your own first project, create your index.html and code your HTML in whichever format you want. And then also you can have your install the preview extension. I told you if you go to extension box here, HTML preview, you can install it, and so as you are coding you can see the result of your code right here. So I think that's awesome, and that's it for today. So subscribe for my YouTube channel, and then I'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much. I appreciate everyone that logged in. So, and this will be available immediately after this. Thank you very much. I'll say bye.